I was born in South Africa, and when I was 11 years old we moved to Australia for a lot of years, and then we moved to New Zealand. I was a very angry child. I wasn't with the best crowd. I went through severe depression and extreme anxiety. I would have panic attacks every day, and I had to drop out of school. So it was a very hard time in life for me, and yeah, I was quite lost. I couldn't see God very clearly. I was just angry because I couldn't see Him. But there came a time where things got really bad, and suddenly He made Himself known to me very strongly, and that was where I just kind of changed my life around. It was just like a switch had just gone off, and I just stopped everything that I had been doing. I'm just, grateful to God for pulling me out of it when He did. So Hayden and I met through my cousin, Christo, and he moved in. So it was a bit of a quick decision, but by understanding how God works now and what His view is on relationships and all, we could have definitely done things differently, but we know better now, and that's why we're here today. We found out about the Adventist church in Hamilton. Dad was doing some research, and I think it started off trying to find a movie, and then he saw this article about the Seventh-day Adventists, and at first he thought it was a cult. So for just a bit of laugh, he looked into it and found that it was actually a church, and that it followed the Bible a lot, like specifically the Bible compared to other churches, and he was just completely hooked on it. He started telling us about the church, and we started to get really interested in it, and we started watching some of Doug Batchelor's sermons. Yeah, we got so into it that we decided, okay, well, let's see if there's a church here. And then coming to Nelson, we didn't right away go to church because we were so focused on our studies that we thought we just needed to focus on this first and get it out the way, and everything else will follow. We didn't realize that we should focus on God first and everything else will follow. So we came to the decision of going to church in a bit of a casual way. We were having a barbecue, we were having a few drinks, and we were having a few laughs and all that, and the topic of God came up, and I asked the guys, why we don't actually go to church. It just felt like God just wanted us to go. Hayden and I ended up going, and the first day of going to church was just absolutely shocking. It was we tried to run out of the church after the sermon was over, as you do, because you knew, and it just did not happen. People stopped us and greeted us and just treated like we were a part of the church, and we got invited to lunch with Wayne and Kim, and it was just, I think Hayden and I at one stage looked at each other and just kind of agreed that this was probably the best decision we could have made. Going back to church, it was like being a new Christian. It was like we had studied all these things in Hamilton, but hearing it in the sermons, it was just hearing it with a whole new ears. It was just a new perspective, and everything just made sense. Growing up, I had always had a lot of questions. I would ask the old churches, I'd ask my dad, but I don't think my questions were as clearly answered as they were when I came to the Seventh-day Adventist church. We came at a bit of a crossroad of marriage. We've talked about marriage so many times before, and we never really had taken a step or thought about it that seriously until we talked about marriage with Pastor Jay, and I think that kind of set it in stone for us that we needed to do this. We knew that we loved each other, and we knew that we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. I think it was just because we were from a younger generation that marriage wasn't as big of a thing anymore, but after doing the lessons with marriage and what it meant to God, and it just made it so much more important for us to go through with it. So we got married the day before our baptism, yesterday. And I pray that God will help me to help others through filmmaking, but not just filmmaking, just through everyday life. If there's somebody that needs help, that I hope that I can be that person that will just, without thought, do it and help them. I definitely want to teach of God's scriptures and His teachings to Hayden and I's children one day. I know, I don't have to hope, but I know for a fact that He's always going to be in the relationship with Hayden and I. He's always going to be in the family, and our kids will definitely always know Him. So I just want to say thank you to the church for just helping us throughout our journey. I don't think we could have made it where we are today without the members in the church that's helped us. You guys have been awesome. We have been really privileged to be a part of your family. Looking back at God, He's always, looking back on my life, He's always been there for me. He's always been, you know, holding my shoulder and just pushing me forward in the journey that I needed to go on. Now more than ever, I understand that all the hardships and all that I've gone through, it was Him actually helping me. It was Him making me who I'm meant to be. And for the hardships that I've gone through, you know, I can use that to help others as well. And it's because of Him that I can do that. I want to thank God that we can be the light in other people's darkness. And I know actually that we will never go away from this light.